This is the Louie T Network. The journey is long, and nobody said it was going to be easy. But all we've got is us.
You have any quarterback news for us?
All that believe.
Yes, we do have news. We have announced that Kirk Cousins will be the starter for 2015 moving forward. And I think all three quarterbacks should be commended for their efforts, their willingness to get better. But when it's all said and done, after all the film that we've gone through, all the off-season activity, all the training camp footage, we feel like at this time, Kirk Cousins gives us the best chance to win, and that's where we're going.
When you say for 2015, does that mean barring?
It's Kirk's team.
Welcome, all my fellow Redskins brethren and sisters. I am your man and resident Redskins fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the Redskins Report. Week 12, Bow and Go, coming straight at you. But first, before we can move on to that huge Week 12 NFC East family business matchup versus the New York Football Giants, got to take a look at that ugly loss at the hands of the now 11-0 Carolina Panthers. But before we get to that, I'm here with a heavy heart, and you know why. November 27th marked the 8th anniversary of the untimely death of one of the greatest Redskins in franchise history. You know who I'm talking about. The one, the only, Sean Taylor. Always is a little somber for me when we play this game. And you know the first game after his death, I have deemed the Sean Taylor game each and every single year. And it's really frustrating because I don't ask for much. And I say this all the time, I don't ask for much. Some people ask for, Redskins fans I'm talking about, they ask for, hey, beat Dallas. Some others say, hey, make the playoffs. I don't know what it is you ask for before the season starts, but you know what I ask for every year. Now, it's almost an unwritten rule for me. It's almost like going into a game and saying, hey, win a turnover battle. Don't have a bunch of penalties. Yeah, those are unwritten rules. You don't even have to say those. You don't have to state them because you know that goes without saying. You can't do those things and expect to win. It's the same thing for me. Okay, before the season starts, I may say, hey, I want to get to November playing meaningful football. They've done that for me this year. Okay, I may say, hey, exceed expectations. Put Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Do this, do that. These are all things I may ask for, but they know before the season starts, I need that one thing. Okay, and that one thing is give me that Sean Taylor game. Get me the Sean Taylor game, man. I need that for me. Okay, so it's that time. Okay, Sean Taylor game. First game after the anniversary of his death is going to be the Giants at the crib. We'll talk about that game a little bit later on. We are currently 2-6 in Sean Taylor games, so I need this one. It was ugly last year. Colts smoked us. What was it? 27-49, something like that in the Sean Taylor game last season. I need us to be a lot more competitive, and I need us to win that game this year. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on, but let's talk about Week 11 and put the bow on that loss to Carolina last week. Look, that was a frustrating game for a number of reasons. We were in that ball game. It was 14-14, and then I thought we had some really unfortunate penalties called against us. You had the Culliver personal foul, unnecessary roughness, targeting, whatever you want to call it, penalty. They took the touchdown off the scoreboard. Okay, that's fine. They did that. We had an opportunity, and when you go back and watch, as frustrated as you are, we had an opportunity to pick Cam Newton off. Ball hits Jericho Cotchery right in between the 8 and the 2 in the end zone. Caroms up into the air, and Vitamin B has a chance to get the interception and say, you know what? To me, I looked at it, and when the ball was in the air, you know what I said? I hit him with the Rasheed Wallace. I said, ball don't lie, okay? You just jerked the snot out of me. Ball don't lie. That's our ball, and we about to go get it right now. And I'm watching the ball, and it was in slow motion. It was like, doom, 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 doom. And I'm like, he got this big. And here comes Cully out of nowhere, knocks the damn ball out of Vitamin B's hand, and I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. And that's when I knew this is about to go south really, really fast. And then, of course, the next possession, you get the fumble by Matt Jones. Who? Matt Jones. They take that into the end zone, and then But then we still have a life. We're not dead yet. We drive it right down the field. And you know one of the things that was really frustrating after I went back and watched was we actually moved the ball on these boys. And I said that though. I said that going into the game, that we were going to be able to move the football. The Panthers defense doesn't scare me, okay? I felt like there were opportunities for us to take advantage of some matchups. And we actually did that. Jordan Reed was winning. I thought Deshaun Jackson got behind their defense. It was more of that to come. I actually thought there was a screen that we threw to him in the game, and he just ran out of bounds. We were getting blown out at the time, so I don't know how big of a difference it would have made, but I would have loved to see him cut that inside. I saw blockers, I saw space, I saw opportunity, and he just bowed out on us. But nonetheless, the holding penalty against Jordan Reed was the end-all, be-all for me. That was the one that really hurt us because we were going to score a touchdown on that drive. So we got down 1st and goal to the 4-yard line with the Kirk Cousins read option run, and we had confidence still on the offensive side. Now defensively, I don't know if we were going to stop the Panthers all game long, okay? That's another debate for another day, but offensively, I felt like we had momentum and we could have had a shootout with those boys. I really feel like if they don't take that touchdown away from us, we can come back and make this, because we get the football after halftime. That's the thing that I kept thinking to myself. If we get 7 here, gonna cut it to 28-21, we get a ball after half, anything's possible, man. We can make this a shootout. If those boys want to take it there, we can take it there. But the referees, they said, no, we're not taking it there today. And look, you can't just blame the officials because Morgan Moses got beat for a sack, forced fumble, and I would have liked to have seen them challenge that, okay? I thought that the booth should have did us a favor. It's a turnover. We can't control that being challenged. Kirk Cousins' knee looked like it was down. It looked like it was simultaneous possession between he and Coney Ely. I would have loved to have seen them take a look at that because I think if they would have took a closer look, they would have seen that Kirk Cousins still had possession of the football. Coney Ely had possession of the football. If it's a tie, just like in baseball, advantage goes to the runner. If it's a tie, advantage goes to the offensive football player. So I would have loved to have seen them take a look at that because I think it could have remained Redskins football. Look, nonetheless, it's all the same. At the end of the day, we didn't make enough plays. We turned the football over. We had too many mistakes. They were the better team. They took it to us. They took our heart from us. The officials didn't do us any favors, and we let them run away with this football game. We couldn't get any stops defensively. How about you hold them to a field goal once or twice when they get in the red zone and not let Cam Newton have 4 first-half touchdown passes and 5 total for the game? How about you stop letting them hand footballs out, to the fans and let them have early Christmas gifts? How about you do that? So there were too many mistakes for us to win the football game, but I just thought if we didn't do a good enough job of overcoming adversity. Now I talked about the process, and that's all a part of the process. We're not there yet. Mentally, we're not tough enough as a football team to make those type of mistakes on the road against that type of team and think you're going to expect to win. And so your end result, 44-16 loss at Carolina. That's a good football team. If you didn't see what they did to the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, that's a good football team. They haven't lost all season for a reason, and they just added us to another one of those W's in that left-hand column. So that's week 11. That's a bow on that game. Let's move on to week 12 in the Sean Taylor game. And we're 1-1 against the Giants all time in the Sean Taylor game. So let's go ahead and take that record and bump it up over 500 and get this much needed victory because look, this is the season right here. And it seems like we find ourselves in this position each and every other week of the season. It was week 2 versus the Rams. It was week 5 against the Philadelphia Eagles. It was week 7 versus the Buccaneers. It was week 10 versus whomever was the last home game. The Saints. It's week 12 now against the Giants. It's every other week. We win a game, we lose a game. We win a game, well, we got 2 straight home games, okay? So we can find a way to win this game. It'll get us 1 game back closer to 500. And if we can find a way to win against the Cowboys without Tony Romo, let's not look ahead though. We're not a good enough team to start pinpointing games down the road. We got to have the most narrowest focus in the league, and that's just the team in front of us. And it's a team that we struggle with. And I told you, I have nightmares about the Giants. I've been telling you this for years. The one team I don't want any part of in the NFC East, the New York Football Giants, because for some reason we can't figure those guys out. Whether it's Eli Manning getting rid of the football too quick for us to get any kind of pressure, whether it's Larry Donnell blazing us, or Odell Beckham Jr. blessing us with 114 yards on 7 catches and 2 touchdowns, whatever it is, they have big days against us, and I can't explain why we play some of our worst football against the Giants. So that needs to change, and it needs to change quickly, because if we don't win this game and we drop to 4-7 on the season, for all intents and purposes, our season is done. Because again, we're not going to win the wild card. We're not going to get one of those, and we're not going to win this division if the Giants sweep us, because they're already in first place. They're the only team at 500 in this division, and if they beat us and go to 6-5 on the season, drops us to 4-7, not only is that going to give them a 2-game lead over us in the standings, it's also going to give them an extra game because they swept us, so we would have to finish 1 game better than them at season's end. We can't go through that with the Giants. We have to win this game. We have to give ourselves a chance. And the way we're going to be able to do that is, first and foremost, we cannot have the mistakes. Look, I don't have to preach to you what we need to do to win the football game. When we're at home, we're a different ball club. I've said this since about week 5 or so, that we just play better at home. Kirk Cousins plays better. This offense is much more sharper. I expect most of our injured guys to play. We all know about the Cully situation, and I'm going to talk about that. As a matter of fact, let's talk about it right now, okay? Tore his ACL and his MCL in practice on Thursday. It's really unfortunate because we were just starting to get healthy. Now he's going to be gone for the rest of the season. And the bad part about this is it happened so far into the season, he may not be ready for the start of next season. He may have to start next season on the PUP list. We may not see him until week 7 or 8 of next year because of this injury and the timing of it. So this is a really big blow to our defense. And even though he wasn't playing the best football, he's still better than what we got on our bench. So now we have to bring D'Angelo Hall into the mix at the cornerback position. And while I love D Hall, I know you do too, I was looking forward to him making that transition to safety and just saying, you know what? We're going to try to turn you into something like what the Raiders have done with Charles Woodson as a full-time safety. We know Charles Woodson was a safety with the Green Bay Packers, but he was a chess piece for them. He was at rover, he was at linebacker, he was at corner, slot corner, safety. In Oakland, he is a safety, and I thought that D'Angelo Hall is a smart enough, savvy enough football player to make that transition, and I wanted him to start doing that now. Instead, with this injury, I think he's going to have to slide back into the lineup and be a corner again. And so now we're 1 injury away from Will Blackman being on the field a bunch again. And again, I don't have a problem with Will Blackman and his coverage. Will Blackman doesn't tackle, and so that's a problem in itself. We haven't tackled well as a team, and to put another liability as far as tackling on the field, that would be very detrimental to this defense. But nonetheless, defensively, we've got to find a way to get off the field on 3rd downs. Our most important down in this game is going to be 3rd down, because Eli Manning and that Giants offensive attack generally doesn't go down the field very often. They'll take their shots now. They'll soften you up with a bunch of underneath throws, and then when you start sleeping on them and you start getting lax, that's when they take that shot to ODB over the top and try to hit you deep. But we can't have Ruben Randall blessing us like he did last time for 8 catches and 100 and whatever yards. We can't have ODB going to work on us too. If ODB's gonna get us, fine, so be it. But they can't be he can't have partners in crime out there getting us. He can't have Larry Donnell getting us, or Will Tye, or none of those other guys. Can't be anybody extra special showing up that doesn't normally show up and register on the Richter scale. Those guys can't show up and have a big game, or else we're gonna lose again. We gotta get off the field on 3rd downs. We gotta find a way to harass Eli Manning. Yeah, he gets the ball out of his hands quickly. That's no secret. But hey, if you get up in the face of those receivers and you jam them at the line of scrimmage and throw off some timing, guess what he's gonna have to do? Hold on to the ball. But if you wanna play 7 yards off, you wanna play 9 yards off like we were doing last week against Carolina, you know what the most disgusting thing I saw in that Panthers game outside of the turnovers? You wanna know what the most disgusting thing was that I saw? I saw situations where we were playing 9 yards off the ball on 3rd and 2. How the hell you gonna stop somebody from picking up a 1st down when all they need is 2 yards and you playing 9 yards off the ball? How the hell are you supposed to get that done? That to me makes absolutely no sense. And I'm no rocket scientist, okay? I'm no rocket scientist. I don't know the football game as well as some of these coordinators and some of these players, but damn, I know what my eyes see. And on 3rd and 2, you 9 yards off the ball, I can complete a damn 3-yard pass. I can run a 3-yard route and pick up a 1st down. So they gotta clean that up, man. We gotta know the sticks. We gotta know the rules to the game. If you know the rules to the game, then play. So we gotta be much better and more sound in our principles, because to me, last week I saw a team that just looked lost. at times, especially on the defensive side of football. Offensively, I don't worry about those boys at home. Kirk is going to blaze them, because the Giants defense stinks, okay? So Kirk is going to blaze those boys, and Kirk hasn't had a lot of success versus the Giants, believe it or not. He struggled in his career. Remember, last season, that was the forced interception meltdown game on Thursday Night Football early in the season. He had another his worst game of the season to me was the Giants game on Thursday night earlier in the season. So he has some demons to exercise. Go ahead, exercise those if you feel necessary. Right now, I think this is the perfect time to do that. I feel like Deshaun Jackson, he's ready to explode. I need 145 yards on 6 catches, 2 of those being bombs over the top. I need one of those games from D-Jax. It'd be nice if Jay Reed continues to bless these boys and he got to hold on to the ball. Matt Jones, who? Matt Jones, he's going to continue to touch the rock. You got to hold on. Last time we played the Giants, he fumbled the ball going in the damn end zone. Need you to hold on to the ball, young fella. All right? It's time for everybody to turn it up. Okay, everybody's got to turn it up. And defensively, I don't know what the hell we're going to do because we don't get pressure. Eli gets it out quickly. All I know is that we've got to find a way to get off the field on third downs. Can't turn it over. Can't have any blunders on special teams. And let me give some credit where credit is due because a lot of times we just gloss over this. Dustin Hopkins, D-Hop, since we've gotten him, has been outstanding, okay? Absolutely tremendous for us. He's just about automatic field goal wise. Extra points he has not missed. He has been automatic on those. Kickoffs have been tremendous. And we know about his onside kick prowess as well. He's been a big time pickup for us. And when we talk about acquisitions made by our front office, we never add him in there. D-Hop has been one of the most pleasant surprises of the season outside of a guy like Morgan Moses. And look, give him some credit. I want him to continue doing what he's done this season. And I think we got a legit shot at winning this game. I fully expect us to win this game. I'll be very disappointed if we don't because not only will we no longer have a chance to win this division, most likely, but we'll lose the Sean Taylor game for the second consecutive year in a row. And in addition to that, I'll be disappointed because our giant struggles will continue to be magnified. And I'm at the point now where I'm like, we got to get rid of this thing, man. We got to get this monkey off our back. We got to beat the Giants, man. We struggle with the Giants. I told you I have nightmares about these boys, and I'm sick of it, man. Let's go ahead, extinguish these boys, put out their fire right at the crib, and really start to get hot at the right time of the season. The Cowboys are coming to the crib next week. Look, we need to start a streak, and we need to start it now because if we win this game, okay, we can start building the type of momentum that we built in 2005 when we won the division late in the season, and 2007 when we went on that run and won it for Sean. We can do that this season, but it's going to take a string of victories, and let's start it right now, okay? Now is as good a time as any. I think 9 wins is going to win this division. Well, we need to start winning games, okay? Give yourself a little bit of leeway. You lose this game, if you're going to get to 9, guess what you're going to have to do? Win 5 games in a row. We're not capable of it. We haven't won 2 games in a row this season. How are we going to be capable of winning 5? So let's start a streak, okay? Can't start a streak without 1. And that's this game right here versus the Giants. I think we can beat the Giants. We're going to be a couple of big matchups in this game. If Trent Williams is not able to stay healthy, JPP coming to town, I'm terrified. I'm scared. I'm not going to lie to you. If Trent isn't able to stay healthy, because, you know, when Trent's banged up, he's going to give it everything he's got, but he may have to come out of the game. If Ty Nsekhe has to check in. Last week, Ty Nsekhe came in for 1 play, got blown up, and got Kirk Cousins sacked. Look, man, I'm a little nervous about that, but truth be told, we need to establish the run this week. I need the play callers to do a better job. And you know how we do when we get home. We start running screens, we start running boots, we start getting real creative with the play calling when we at home. They get real comfortable when they're at home. It's when we go on the road when we struggle with all of those things. I expect us offensively to do a hell of a job of giving us a chance to win. What I worry about is defensively, can we stop the Giants from throwing the football, from getting in the end zone, and from keeping the ball away from our offense. And that, to me, is the biggest key. You can't turn it over. You can't have the Giants 7 of 13 on third downs, and we can't have the Giants, every time they make a trip to the red zone, coming away with 7. If we can find a way to force them to kick some field goals, if we can find a way to have them 4 of 11, 4 of 12 on third downs, if we can find a way to get the ball out of Eli's hands and get it back to our offense, and we don't turn it over, going to win this football game because I think we're not a better team than the Giants, okay? I don't think we're better than any team in this division, but we're just as good as the Giants, and we should be able to beat them at home. Give me the Redskins, give me our boys in the Sean Taylor game to represent and get it done 27-23. We got to get this one. We got to have it, and I think we can get it at the crib versus the Giants. I am a Redskins fan. Etched in burgundy and gold. My Redskins spirit will never die. My Redskins spirit will never fold until we meet again. Hail to our beloved Redskins. You know what I'm about to say, man. We need this one. We got to have it. Always need it. There's no options here. This is not an optional football game. We got to have it. And when we've been in this situation this season, back against the wall, at the crib, we've gotten the job done. Go get them, fellas. For Sean. There's plenty more where that came from. While you're here, subscribe to the channel. If you want more Louie T, be sure to follow me on Twitter at In the Lab Room, or you can like the Facebook page at In the Lab Room. That's In the Lab Room on Facebook and at In the Lab Room on Twitter. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. The Redskins Report.